In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus makes a prophecy about the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Remember that in Israel, at that time when Jesus was living, there was only one temple in Jerusalem. And that temple was very, very important to the people of Israel. Because as we heard in the reading, Jesus said, I'll read again, "As for these things which you see, the days will come when there shall not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." Jesus was referring to that temple which was going to be destroyed. And actually, the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed in the year 70 AD, which is around 37 years after the death of Jesus. Also, we have heard in the Gospel of Luke today, Jesus warned his disciples that life will be very difficult for them when he leaves. And that Jesus says that they will face false prophets. They will have floods, earthquakes, incurable diseases, and wars. What Jesus is talking about, what will happen to his disciples, sounds like what is happening in our world today. Even in Kenya, that's what we are seeing happening. Today, we have floods in Kenya. Everywhere you go, we have floods whenever it rains now. Also in Kenya, we have people who are starving, having nothing to eat. And even there are people who are dying because of starvation. People are suffering from incurable diseases. And many people are struggling to live life here in Kenya. It sounds like what Jesus was talking about more than 2,000 years ago, many years ago, is what is happening here today in Kenya. And also, if you look at the neighbors of Kenya, Somalia, DRC, Sudan, South Sudan, and even in other places in the world like Ukraine, Gaza Strip, Israel, Russia, there is war everywhere. People in these places, in these countries, are suffering a lot. And therefore, my dear friends, we have to ask ourselves a question. What was the intention of Jesus when he warned his disciples of the difficulties that are going to come their way? What was the intention of Jesus warning them? The intention of Jesus warning his disciples was to prepare them to continue living their lives in the face of difficulties, and not to be scared, and not to give up, and not to lose hope in life. Jesus is telling his disciples, there are these difficulties that are going to come your way, but please be hopeful in life. Whenever we are faced with difficulties in life, and every human being, every Christian will be faced with difficulties in life. There is no human being that does not have a difficulty in life, a problem in life. Whenever we are faced with these difficulties in life, there is a temptation of becoming fearful, also becoming angry at yourself because you are suffering. This can only bring stress in your life. And also, it makes your life not so good. Yet as Christians, we are supposed to live good lives. Our lives, we are supposed to be joyful people. If you go that way and you give in to those difficulties, you will be reduced to ashes and you are going to die. You will perish. I think for us Christians, whenever we are faced with difficulties in life, like the disciples of Jesus, The only thing I think we have to do, mainly, is to look up to Jesus. To look up to the cross of Jesus. Because that cross of Jesus is our salvation. That cross is the one going to save us. But difficulties, problems in life are going to remain with us. But as Christians who believe in God, the way we live with those difficulties will be different from those people who do not believe in God. Jesus will save us from becoming fearful, from becoming angry with ourselves when we are faced with difficulties, and not to despair. And we will continue to love God, love ourselves, and also love other people.